Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Winner Circle Sports Betting Podcast. Sean Higgs coming at you here. It's Wednesday the 18th, and on a Wednesday, Chirimbes, Brian Bitler joining me here on our YouTube channel. As always, hit the like button, subscribe, notification bells on, so you know each and every day when free pick videos come up. The Monday Night Live, 7 o'clock on Monday nights for some player props. Football Friday Live, Mark Lawrence, Victor King at 1 p.m. Eastern. You don't want to miss out on that. Today, we'll be talking college football, and more specifically, the Gasparilla Bowl. Try to spell that one out. You got to do a little autocorrect when you write that one out in your little bowl packages and put up a package for that one. That's not an easy one. Cure Bowl, nice and easy. Rose, Gasparilla, it's right up there with the Camellia Bowl. So that's what we'll be talking about today. But we'll delve into some night action here. We got some other bowl games we could talk about, and NFL. Saturday games, Sunday games, and Christmas days on Wednesday. Thank goodness they worry about player safety so much, right, folks? We got to make sure those guys are all hunky-dory. But free pick videos here. Head on over to the gamblersWORLD.net website for all the premium action. Again, these are free picks. We'll give out free picks. That's fine. But if you want the good stuff where we're making most of our money, you see Brian Bitler on the leaderboards, Chip Chirimbes on the leaderboards. I'm outside the leaderboards. I'm right hanging – right, and like the 4 spot, although it is 1, 2, 3, 4. At least I'm top 5, so I got that going for me. Having a winning season, but usually leaderboard shows you how we're doing, who's hot, NBA, college hoops, hockey, football. We've got you covered there on gamblersworld.net. It is the 12 days of deal, and right now I think we have a 10. I wrote it down. $10 off a 3-day pass. Can't go wrong. 3, 7, and 30 packages are all guaranteed. So you get a 3-day pass. Maybe not today because there's only 2 bowl games, but you got a couple more on Friday. There is that Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Great, especially for bowls and NFL football. And there is NFL football on Saturday. If you didn't know, folks, if you just think it's Sunday, it's not. Saturday NFL action. Get the 3-day pass plus save dollars on the 12 days of deals. Or I like this one. The day pass is $69.99. All picks included, 1 day. And I know me personally, college football, college basketball, NFL, you're going to get, instead of buying 3 separate packages, you get 1. Save yourself some money. It is the holidays. We're trying to save them. Black Friday coupon deals. Why everyone do it? Get a day pass. All the plays bundled up in a nice little present for you. Simple. That's it. GamblesWorld.net. Go get the Primos. Brian Bitler, it's been a week, although last week we did go 2-1 on a Wednesday with our free picks. How are the premium plays treating you, and how was your weekend, and what do you got going for us coming ahead of time with the bowl game season starting up?
Yeah, I got to say that I'm sad to see December go. 44-25, all sports runs, 64% in December. Just going to keep plugging along, trying to get profit daily. Yesterday was a losing day, but you can't help it when your team is up 6 with 40 seconds to go in college basketball, and they turn it over and they don't hit foul shots. That's going to happen. We're on to today. I like the card in college hoops for sure today.
That's a rough beat there. 6 with 30 seconds and you lose it outright. Oh, my goodness. But that's the life we choose. Sometimes we have bad ones like that. And we go back to the drawing board. And the best time to get on board, folks, is after losing day because we don't get many of those in a row. Right, Chip? Mr. NBA guy? How you doing, NBA guy?
Yeah, we beat goes on in the NBA. We had Milwaukee last night. They went outright in the NBA Cup. And now 25-5 in the NBA. And college isn't too far behind. We're like 23-4 over the last it's been a really great 3-4 weeks here, and we hope to continue it. Like Brian said, I really like the NCAA card today, particularly, which is Wednesday, and we still have these bowl games. We've got, we've got a great sample size. We have the entire season that's already been played out, and now I hope Brian feels the same way I do about this. I think these games are a bigger play than during the regular season.
Yeah, I swore I wasn't going to jump in early on the bowls and was going to wait out the portal stuff, but I couldn't help myself. I loaded up like 15. I'm 3-1 out of the gate since Friday with college football, and I got another 13 left, including tonight. I know we got a couple bowls going tonight here. We have the Boca Raton and the LA Bowl, sponsored by Gronk or hosted by Gronk. You got to love that. What a bunch of drunk people running around with no shirt on.
Well, you have Vegas in that game.
It used to be the Jimmy Kimmel Bowl. Now it's the Gronk Bowl.
Jimmy Kimmel. Kibble
it
and
was.
bits.
It's crazy. Bowls are here. You gotta love it. And you mentioned college basketball. You guys like in the card. I love it. I got a 3-pack and I got additional. I got 10 altogether, but I just put my, I guess top 3. I put in the 3-pack. I'm college basketball. I love college hoops.
Me too.
I called you off season because once the conferences start up, the last 2 years I've had trouble in conference time. Now I'm sailing along, but we'll see how we do. That's what we do. 6 more for 100 wins in college basketball. Not bad. 94 and 79. Not a bad month. 94 games. Listen, we're going to be doing the Gasparilla Bowl Friday, and this game will be posted up today on here on a Wednesday. So that's why we're talking about today's kind of stuff. But we do have 2 games tonight: Boca Bowl, the Boca Raton Bowl, and LA Bowl. I got premiums up in both of them. Did you guys have anything on these things tonight, or
I didn't use anything today on the football?
I have a
Not
premium
yet.
in the LA Bowl today.
The LA Bowl, hosted by Gronk. I still can't. It's as bad. We have the Snoop Doggy Dog Bowl. It's a Snoop Bowl sponsored by Gin and Juice. It's the Arizona Bowl, right? It's so long I can't even fit it. I think it's the Arizona Bowl, hosted by Snoop Dogg, sponsored by Gin and Juice, Dre, and Snoop.
I don't care what they call it as long as they play it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me.
Give me a line on
I think it cost like $500,000 to sponsor a bowl game because I think that's what Barstool paid for it when they did theirs. I think it's like $500,000 to host the Arizona Bowl. If my wife wouldn't find out, I'd mortgage the house for $500,000 and have the Higgy Bowl. I would. I'd give out like Bucky's t-shirts. Would I lose money on it? I'd probably make $500,000 back. No.
Who's going to play in it?
Does it make a difference? Who's playing in some of these bowls anyway? I'm going to get
might make a difference to the Army.
No, you get like 7 and 5 teams. People will come.
5 and 7
No?
teams too.
You're so negative, Chip. You're so
Army's
negative.
playing a team that's 5 and 7 because Marshall had so many people that went to the portal they couldn't even field the team. And it would have been a great spot to have the Army after the way they got hammered to get to the Navy, and Marshall comes in 11 and 2. I'm very sad about that game.
Yeah, well, I'm sad too because I had Army minus 9.5 out of the gate, and then it went to like 16, and then Marshall pulled out.
Right.
Like, we can't play. And let's just go into a next little conversation for a little bit before we jump in the game. The portal business, they have to do something about this.
They have to move the date back. They have to move it past January 1st so that
but the
all the
problem
bowl
with
games
that
will be
is
finished.
With the way schools are set up, they can't do that because they have to be registered by a certain time.
They could do anything they want, Sean. It's all about the money. You know that. They got us playing doubleheaders Christmas Day. So,
listen, I'm not disagreeing with you, but this is absolutely ridiculous that these guys can just run out. And again, I hated it for especially college basketball. The coach would leave, and then the player, he gets to go to a job right away, but the players had to sit out a year.
All right, now don't you think the guys that
one thing though, there's 5 guys.
I'm wondering if the guys have already been through the portal and are in it, if they're committed to playing the entire season instead of being able to bail out as they do now. I mean, if I was paying some kid to come there, I'd want him playing in the bowl game because that's when he's going to be highlighted the most. And whatever dollars I'm giving him for whatever, maybe a garage selling motor oil, but that doesn't matter. It's just get him out there. He's got to play.
I saw someone on Twitter posted. I forgot who it was, and they're talking about like these kids now when they sign these nil contracts, it has to be guaranteed like you're playing in a bowl game. That's it.
Right. That's what I'm thinking and hoping for anyway, because it'd be a lot better for us to be able to know exactly who's going out onto the field. I mean, you have people bailing out 10 minutes before the game nowadays.
It's especially this. I don't want to say smaller schools, but anybody other than a team that's in a major playoff now, because now they have playoffs, which ruins every other bowl game.
Yeah.
Bro, what do you think? You're a little quiet over there. You're in PA. What happens if like the Penn State guy says, you know what, like their backup quarterback gets out? Not that it's a difference unless
it kind of reminds me
quarterback has his leg broken. But listen, you lose a quarterback, chances are you're probably in trouble anyway, no matter what league.
I mean, if I were the universities, I'd make a special exemption for athletes, so they can play in these bowl games and give them an extra month, for that transfer portal. But That's just me, because you got to make these games important. Also, make it contingent on playing in the bowl games, getting these contracts.
Yeah.
If you're healthy. If a guy's hurt, he's hurt. But hopefully they tweak a little bit.
It's terrible. So let's roll right into our Gasparilla Bowl here on Friday the 20th. Again, folks, free picks here on the on the Winner Circle YouTube channel. Hit the like button, notification bell, subscribe. Any comments? Leave your picks. You can leave your picks in the comment section. Maybe you don't like our picks. You can tell us who you like. Just do it ahead of time. Please do it ahead of time. Don't come in after the game's final, or I see a note, or if I jump on and it's like the game's still playing, you're like, oh, I told you so. Who'd you tell? You were talking to yourself? Put it in here before the fact, and then we'll highlight you there. But we're talking about portal guys. Tulane's quarterback. Hi, redshirt freshman off to Duke. Here we go. The line was 9.5. It shot up. Now it's where are we at, the 13.5 range, 14 range. Now, is that based on just him leaving? Also, his backup left. There was rumors their coach was going to head to greener pastures. He's ended up staying in New Orleans. Like he was looked at for the North Carolina job, Summerall here, and he stayed. So he's like, how you have to overpay for Belichick because you can't get a Tulane. Like the Tulane coach says, I'm going to stay in the AAC rather than go to NC and the AA and the ACC. After you saw SMU go in there and dominate them. That's a little side bit we could talk about right away. But Gasparilla Bowl, 3:30 p.m. Friday, Tulane, Florida. We got the Gators started bad, right? 2 out of 3 they lose. Billy Napier, hot seat time, and yet he beats LSU, rolls over Ole Miss, beats Florida State. But now it's like hunky-dory time. Trendy team next year. Watch out, the Gators are back. Tulane, backup quarterback, the double backup, right? He's a third stringer, this guy. The funny thing is this guy, he comes to Tulane. He was a 5-star recruit out of Oregon, right? He's an Oregon recruit. Couldn't get on the field there. Now he got beat out by a redshirt freshman who just left for Duke. How good is this guy, Ty Thompson? Should the line still be as high as it is? I don't know. We're going to go Chip Chirimbes, Gasparilla Bowl. What do you think? What are your thoughts on this one?
My thoughts are, it's too bad the Tulane quarterback's gone because they had a pretty good offense with this guy running around.
Yeah.
They were 9-4 and coming off 2 bad defeats, though. They lost to Army and they lost to Memphis. And I was looking to play them coming into the situation, seeing them coming into the bowl game, having lost 2 in a row. Florida, like you said, was really dogged, I'd say, by the odds makers early in the year. The numbers that were coming up really said they thought they were pretty weak. And they've rebounded here with such a high number. And it's the number 2 touchdowns they have to win by. I don't know if they have the kind of offense that can put up those kind of points. Tulane used to have that kind of offense, but the quarterback situation ruined everything. Georgia lost to, listen to the teams. Florida lost to Georgia, Tennessee, Texas A&M, and Miami. It'd be nice to have won a couple of those games, but that's the kind of schedule they were facing the entire season. They got DJ Lagway is going to be quarterbacking here, and for Florida, because they've also had quarterback issues. They won the last 3 that he has started, and I'd take the points with Green Wave, even with some quarterback that they probably bought out of the bleachers. I have no idea who's running that show, but 50s with total probably goes over as well. Brian's been the leader in college football, so I'm really anxious to hear what he has to say about it.
Yeah, Ty Thompson, under center, ex-Oregon recruit. Here's his. Is he going to shine? He's got a running back, but as you said, is it too many points? 13.5. Go ahead. What do you think, Brian, in this matchup? Just all around.
Well, I agree a lot with what Chip had to say, but in general, the betting people are fickle, and they've seen Tulane lose 2 games in a row to Army and Memphis, and they've seen Florida dominate, also be a spread cover team. 8 of the last 9, I believe, the Gators have cashed the ticket. Tulane hasn't been a bad bet this year, but they haven't covered the last 2. And if you look at their defense, they are rated 11th best in college football on defense. I think also specializing in stopping the pass. one of the best pass defensive teams in the nation. So with me getting all these points, Florida doesn't have the best offense in college football. I think this is a closer game than people are expecting. I think Florida wins this one by 10, but we get the cover with Tulane. I think it also goes under the number.
Yeah, I'm with you on the under. I think, we get the backup quarterback who couldn't win this position in the summertime. Now he's expected to come in 2 weeks, and I get it. There's no pressure. You come do what you got to do. You still got to run them back and stuff like that, but it's not a good spot. I'm more under than a sidewise because the Florida team, right? You're coming in hot. You mentioned to beat a Ole Miss team that was playing to get into the playoffs. I had Ole Miss at them. You know what? They had a bye week coming into that or something. I'm like, this is a good spot. They should take care of business. Kiffin wins a game, gets to the playoff. You don't know they're dangerous. They beat Georgia. You beat LSU, who's still a solid team. It's not, they're
a quality team,
bad program. And their losses, as Chip said, who you lose to Texas, Texas A&M, Tennessee, Georgia, Miami. I mean, a bunch of teams that are ranked. But you're coming on strong. You're looking to build where Tulane's kind of like it's house money, even though we're playing against a bigger school. Is it too high? I could maybe lean to the little too high with you, like taking the dog here because it was 9 and then maybe everybody's leaving. All right, the QB left. Is Florida for real? That's the question. Are they going to show up? Are they, like Chip said, we could find out. 2 years ago, 22 guys sat out for Florida like a day before the game.
Yeah.
It's under for sure, though. I know Chip likes the over, but, for me, I think it would be more of an under. Bryce will be on a 2 out of 3 on the under here, folks. Again, this is our normal show. We go through a bunch of games and give it out, but with limited games per day. And plus, as you know, head to gamblersWORLD.net. Brian Bitler, number 1 college football capper. I'm sure he's got some bowl games up for you. And when there's 1 and 2 and 2, we try to do them all together. Like, hey, here's a Tuesday game. Well, there's only 1 game. So that's why we're going to do one today, if you're wondering why. I guess the consensus would be under for the 3 of us here. 2 out of 3 have the under. Chip likes the over. We're all leaning to the dog here. 2 touchdowns. And at least my feeling is Florida. Is it Tulane's the hungry dog, right? That would be where I think most quote unquote pros would be leaning towards, right?
The game is in Tampa, so that probably should aid the Gators a little bit. It's not too far to Gainesville from there.
Quasi home game in Tampa. Afternoon, no, it's just a regular. I do like the bowls. I know people talk about getting rid of some bowl games, and we're just joking about the Snoop and the Gronk Bowl and some of these bowls. But what the heck was that?
I don't know.
So it's like I got that Jim in the back eating his breakfast sandwich or something over there. Somebody's dog's making noises.
There are plenty of them here too.
All right. We got 2 other games on Friday. We'll just touch on these guys a little quick here for Friday bowl action. One of them's the playoff game, but let's start early here. Before that, we have the Cure Bowl. Nice and easy one to spell, not like the Gasparilla Bowl. Ohio and Jacksonville State. This is a rare one for me. I did not play at all. I know we didn't really talk about it when we send out the little memos that games are covering, but any thoughts on Ohio and Jacksonville State? To me, it's a no thank you. I would probably lean to Jacksonville State because it's a tiny little smaller school versus a bigger school, although it is the MAC. I would lean this is where I kind of like lean to the dogs and the small kind of teams in these kind of spots where they're excited no matter what the record or who they're playing. You give me a little more than a field goal, I'd be interested. Bri, thoughts? Ohio and Jacksonville State?
Yeah, this is a game I just glanced at now, but if I had to pick a side, I would pick Jacksonville State. We've seen Ohio be a real hot cover team coming into this one. 6 straight covers for the Ohio Bobcats here. Jacksonville State, although they lost the game to Western Kentucky, their last one was a win, 52-10 over Western Kentucky.
Yeah,
the Hilltoppers aren't a bad squad, so I think they can keep this one. I think it's a field goal game. If you're going to give me 3.5 in my pocket, I'll take the points at Jacksonville.
I'm going to say, so Rich Rod is out, he's on his way to West Virginia.
Yep.
I just brought it up just to bring it up. Is he taking a bunch of coaches with him? Are guys going to, this is a spot where are the transfer guys going to jump into it? The line really hasn't moved. I guess they don't think it matters. I mean, Bobcats, the Ohio Bobcats, Chip, what do you think on this one? Chip's muted.
It's out there. So
there you go.
I'm really going to pass on this game.
Yeah, it's one of those spots where you'd want to see the game. Small MAC school, and then you got the really smaller Rich Rod team here, or ex-Rich Rod team in Jacksonville State. But again, number one in Conference USA, number one in the MAC. You got to love these kind of matchups. Hopefully going forward, they work something out for these smaller things, because if they're just going to have a 16 or eventually they want to get to a 24-team playoff that they want to.
24.
Are they going to take?
There's not going to be any time for a regular season.
How I'm saying, like, they can't have any other bowl games, because if that's the case, I know they're just going to want to make it all Big Ten and SEC teams or whatever. Is it time for everybody but the Big Ten and the SEC to say, we'll start our own football, and then we'll have our own bowl games? Because none of these guys are going to get it. It's not the NCAA tour. Like, they was like, well, we can do it like the NCAA tournament. Get the heck out of here. You know darn well you're not going to take the Sun Belt champion or the American Conference champion or the MAC champion, or none of those guys are going to be invited to a expanded playoff.
You have Boise State and Arizona State getting buys. I mean, Boise State gets a bye.
No, you think they're happy with that? No, they're trying to switch that up mid-season.
They arranged it. They're the ones who they put it together.
Well, they didn't realize it was going to be those teams. You know darn well they were trying to kick Indiana out of it before the Ohio State game, thinking that they're trying to get Alabama and Ole Miss in there over Indiana's 10-1 record. Where if Vanderbilt was 10-1 or LSU, there wouldn't be a question.
For sure.
If Nebraska was 10-1, they get in there, but it's Indiana, so it's a problem. They got to
either.
They have to do something here, because it's between the portal, which every day I try to go to like the portal update thing and see what's happening. And it's college football. We all know this. Try to get information on injuries. Unless you really know somebody on the staff or inside the program, there's nothing. You know nothing. And this is 10 times as worse. No? Leaving you speechless?
That's one thing about the NBA. They're really good on the injury report. Definitely polar opposite of the college football.
Required.
At least Belichick, maybe he'll bring the injury report to college football and the whole team will be listed. You'll be like, how the hell?
Questionable.
North Carolina has 77 guys on their team and 17 defensive linemen questionable. How's that even possible? People will see the real in the depth charts of college football teams if they allowed that. They'd be like, what the heck is going on here? They have 17 running backs. I never heard of these guys. Yeah, it's college football, folks. They're deep. That's why they only shoot up 60 guys on home games or whatever they do. All right. So, again, for the show here, we're talking about the Gasparilla Bowl. Chip Chirimbes likes the dog, Tulane, and the points, and the over. Brian Bitler, he likes the dog and the under. I'm more just like kind of an under kind of cat on this one here. Sidewise, I have to I still got a day. I still got a day of thinking on this one. I kind of like the points. The fact that it has a move, though, strikes me as a little bit interesting. Maybe Florida's going to show up here because they're building for next year, where Tulane is – this kid isn't going to be the quarterback next year. He's a transfer, already 3 years at Oregon. Where are they looking at? I don't know. Again, free pick video here. You want the premium stuff? Head on over to gamblersworld.net. As I mentioned before, Brian Bitler, number one college football capper on the site. Chip Chirimbes, not far behind, and I think he's number one in the NBA. And I think he's probably up there I don't have the leaderboard in front of me, but college hoops, I think Chip's doing well also there. And, of course, it's NFL. We have an NFL game tomorrow. I might be a pass on this game. While I do like the under, I haven't bet it. It's not on any site for me. I didn't put it up here. Broncos and Chargers. I'm not sure if Brian or Chip has this game, but premium will be up for us or maybe the other dozen guys we have on the site for NFL football, plus all the bowl games. Head to gamblersworld.net. 12 days of deals, $10 off a 3-day package, and it's guaranteed. So if it doesn't win over those 3 days, we credit you back. And just like that, you're back in action. But let's be honest, you're going to take a Friday football, a Saturday college and football, NFL doubleheader, and a Sunday NFL. I'm pretty sure we're making you money. Everybody on the site's going to make you money over 3 days of just probably football, unless they add in some college hoops or NBA in that mix as well, or hockey.
Don't forget about the NHL. Definitely.
I was going to say, I forgot about the NHL because we're with Doug on Mondays and Thursdays, and he is absolutely melting the ice. He's like a Zamboni on fire rolling across that puppy. So again, all those plays, premium action can be found at gamblersworld.net. Chip, today is the 18th. I know we're going back and forth in emails. You brought up Norm Snead.
Well,
did something happen today, or was that just Gasparilla Bowl?
No, that was
talk?
because I did that for Jim McQuinn, for Mr. Quinn, because he's such a big Eagles fan. But I have some other stuff for you. December 18th is kind of a slow sports day because it's so close to Christmas, and there wasn't a lot out there, but there was a few things. In 1959, Sammy Baugh was named the first coach of the New York Titans. And I don't know if you guys are aware that Sammy Baugh is the only guy in NFL history to lead the league in passing and punting in the same season. He used to punt for the Washington Redskins, and he could sling that ball, that's for sure. In 1988, Seattle clinched their first division ever. That is the Seahawks. I can tell you about Darryl Strawberry saying he's not guilty to tax evasion. But in 1949, on this date, December 18th, NFL championship game played in a torrential downpour in Los Angeles. It was the first time they played west of the Mississippi in a championship game in the NFL, and they were expecting close to 70 to 100,000. And they only got 20,000 because of the rain. And in those days, the players were paid off of the gate. The winner, which would now be the Super Bowl, got $1,090, and the loser got $789 in this game. Steve Van Buren was the MVP. He led the league in rushing, scoring, kickoff returns, and punt returns. Steve Van Buren of the Rams, of course. So, excuse me, of the Philadelphia Eagles, who were the champion that year. That's what I wanted to. 14-0, they won that game in a deluge. I don't think for December 18th, other than the fact you guys got 7 days to get me. It's a 15.5, 32.5 inch. Yeah, just want you, the waist is 32 as well. So
I'm just saying, I don't think you can get a teenager off the couch for $790.
I know. It can't even pay
for
him to get out there.
Football player. Can you imagine?
Yeah, and Sammy Baugh was kind of unique that he led the league in punting. And
maybe it was worth it in 1949. I'm just saying,
figure in inflation. That probably was about equal to 7,000 in today's dollars, maybe. But still,
I'm just saying.
I wonder.
They're expecting like 70, 50, 60, 70,000, or if they're playing at the Rose Bowl, so 80, 90,000, 100,000. You're thinking it's a nice payday.
They're playing at the Coliseum.
But, the Coliseum back in the day, but still 75,000 people.
Yeah, it's L.A. was flooded, they said, and they sloshed their way through the game.
And you mentioned leading the league in punting and passing. Where's Danny White? What about Danny White? How is he? He's got to be a top 5 guy.
He may have done it, but he led the league in both categories in the same season. And like I said,
as a young Cowboy fan,
what was that?
As a young Cowboy fan, right? Because I was, 1980, I'm like 6 years old, and people forget, like, oh, you're a front runner. Well, in 1980, 81, 82, the only games on TV were the good teams, and Dallas was they went to 3 straight NFC Championship games. So I'd get Dallas on TV a lot as a kid, and they had a star in their helmet. Who would want to like a star? Yeah. They looked great. And he would always, I always want to see the fake punt. Like he's going to punt it, but then he throws it. Never. I never saw him run a fake punt. You'd think you could run it on every single play. He's a quarterback. He's pretty damn good quarterback.
Landry was pretty conservative.
Yeah, Landry. Yeah, let's be honest. Never got to. Hey, Tony Dorsett. Let's go. Robert Newhouse. Run the ball.
Why not?
But man, imagine Dan Campbell having that guy's quarterback. They never punt. They'd be like, who got? No, we'll put Danny White back there. We're going to go for it every down. Fourth and 17. That's all right. We got a guy to throw the ball 80 yards.
He needs somebody to tackle somebody nowadays. Their defense has been depleted.
Yeah. So, before we get out of here, that was a crazy game. Now, they're in a position where forget about home field. They, if Green Bay runs this, or Minnesota runs it out, they might overtake them here for the division.
It's a long season.
You got the Eagles are 12-2, Vikings 12-2, and Detroit 12-2. Interesting. It's a lot of changes. Guys get hurt, and that's why we play the games, folks. That's why we play the games. Speaking of games, we'll be back tomorrow. NFL Thursday. Matt Fargo, Doug Upstone, and myself. Hit the like button. Premium plays at gamblersworld.net. Gasparilla Bowl under and the dog. Have a good one. Brian, Chip, thanks for popping in. See you guys next week.